Okay, Luigi, I'm going to just take a photocopy of this plant onto good quality paper gloss. Okay, Luigi, we're going to load it into tray 2. It's good quality, this archival. I believe the plant species will be gone by the long before we come back, so we've got to preserve an image of them. This is the paper, got it from Mytronics. Yeah, this one's 135 GSM. We'll just put a few sheets in tray 1, or tray 2, yeah, tray 2. So just drop it in. Try and remember, it's got to be seam side up. This is confusing. Yeah, this is one of the areas of copying which plays on my defective short-term memory. But I can still bumble it through, I think. I hope I've done this accurately enough. I feel as if I've handled the paper a little bit rough, you know what I'm like. I hope it is alright. Gave my hands a quick wash before. Yeah, there it goes. We're going to trial this on A4, I think, but well, we won't be able to get the whole image in, but we'll have to trial the settings, and then, yeah, we're just going to intuitively place it on the plate. Now, this isn't going to sit terribly flash, unfortunately. I might have to hold it with my hand. I don't know how I'm going to position this, but photocopying plants isn't exactly easy. But well, we don't really want that broken bit. It looks crap. So I'm trying to decide whether it's vertical or sideways. No, that looks pretty lame. I think this would be nice. I'm going to copy this size for size, of course. This is now going to be this is now botanically serious now. This is not just about creating a pretty picture, although it will be a pretty picture. Just like botanical art that is drawn, it is it's for a scientific reason. Yeah, who knows what weird and wonderful mutations we're going to have when we get out of here. This is like beyond Thunderdome strange, as well as you know, this is freaky. I mean, to think not so long ago that this world was just going to be polluted and crap, and now we're starting to think that most of the world's going to be shot off, annihilated, nearly annihilated. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I don't know the exact name of the plant. I'm sure there'll be a botanist in the group, you know, because we've got to engage other scientific, you know, it's going to require the whole scientific community ultimately, not just toner heads. Of course it's not. We've got to build a whole new infrastructure. We've got problems all across the board. You know, I thought it was just a photocopier, you know, just a product, you know, what we call a commercial product. It's become deadly serious now. This is not funny. He knew this better than I did, Luigi, but hey. So, probably try this on the A4 stock, but I won't be able to copy the whole image. So, whether we're going to go back. Oh yes, we've engaged glossy. We might do. It's hard to know, but we're not going to get fancy at this stage. We might do something creative with it if we've got time. I've got a whole lot of uploading to do at this stage, so I'll just use this time management now, or should I say losing downtime. So the contrast should up and down. We've got the full scale. Saturation, we don't need the full range there. Colour balance, this will be a challenge to colour balance this, because this is meant to be accurate. This is accuracy now. So it's serious. No, this is getting serious now. This is not a drill. There you go, that should do it. I'm now going to hit mode memory just in case. So I'm just going to take out something. So I'll just take a previous number out. So I'm just doing some, you know, I've never felt so excited about touristy things or things outside. I feel like a tourist now, Luigi, honestly. I do. I've never had any appreciation much for touristy type things, but now I'm starting to feel, wow, I just want to take pictures of what's out there, you know. What's out there, you know, like things like that I didn't give a bang about if I went on a holiday. So So register program. Alright, we'll just call it Botany. This is just a test for now, just to see how things are set up, of course. We don't want to waste that good gloss paper. Now I know why I felt I had to just hang off with the gloss, you know. Now I know why. Let's have a quick gander at this. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty rich. But it has to be lightened up a bit, I think. So now I'm just thinking whether we should just switch it to photo paper. There. And then we have to enter it into the mode memory. Now, I'm hoping I won't be able to do too many pieces this afternoon, but this is the only, I don't know the name of this particular plant, but this is the only one that in my dad's garden. I picked it yesterday, and I don't want it to go to waste, and I don't think my dad, well, you know, it's got to have a reason, you know. But, okay, it doesn't matter, who gives a fig about the spelling. Who gives a terrible fig. The world fusses about spelling all the time. The workplace, yeah, so... Here's a fig. Yeah, I do give a fig. Fig trees. We probably won't have many fig trees left. Yeah, it's a funny term of phrase. I don't give a fig. Oh well. Oh, it's black and white. Oh, it's come out black and white. Oh man, is that slider activity? Look at this, Luigi. Still in full colour. It's either slider activity or there's something wrong with this device. Or maybe it's because I've... damn it. Bloody watercolor. Let's get stuck in and get this thing into play. I reckon it might be because slider activity normally means when I do something wrong, something comes up to show that I'm doing it incorrectly, especially when I'm in a hurry. Because I tend to piddle a lot of time now. I've got a feeling it may not be. I should have done this because... Yep, okay, I'm back in the system. I'm just going to pull it up. Now, I've got a gut feeling. Well, I think it was because... to keep me in line with the timing, because I'm uploading, and doing a multitask is difficult. So I'm going to try and run it again. And if it goes colour all of a sudden, you'll know that God's been up it again. Slider activity. But then a lot of technical people would say, well, it was just an intermittent fault. These things are hard to prove, aren't they, Luigi? It's still in black and white. For some reason, it's in black and white. Well, we'll try something else. We might have to reboot the system like we did last time. But we're on photo. This, yeah, printed photo is what we normally use, which is default. It was a bit heavy, but let's just see how the quality looks. And see if the black and white disappears, because you know, it's hard, and I'm a person who piddles away so much time, you know. I'm a real time waster, Luigi. I mean, I'm serious. And on my own, I just don't know how to manage time. I'm not intuitive with day-to-day living, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens. If this fails, I might have to reboot the system. Yeah, it's in black and white again. I think we have to do a reboot. Okay, we're just going to reboot system. Just going to sub off this. Sub off. And then we're going to open the front panel. Oh, we don't want this getting inside. Okay, let's off the front panel. Main switch. Leave it a bit. The cycling through takes about 10 seconds. I'm not very good at estimating time, but actually I should use the ticker on the front here, so I just can't remember. So 10 seconds, as they say, with the Telstra equipment, you know, like cycle it through, let the electricity drain. I think that's about it. Boot her up. Back to action. Alright, that's the main power on. Sub power. Oh shit, something funny's gone to them. This copy is behaving funny now. Oh. This copy is misbehaving. I think it's slider activity telling me it's not time to use this device. I've done the sub. We're going to try and shut this thing down again. Right. There's something, you know, things I just don't know. So now we've got this thing up. That's up. Sub on. Oh, here we go. I don't. Sometimes it's a bit hard. Sometimes when I'm a bit laggy with between switching on the main power and then switching on the sub, or sometimes the timing of this machine's a bit odd. But it's odd, okay. So I'll just capture the warm-up process. I really like this. You do too, Luigi. And this is like what the world is, you know, the sands are running through the hourglass. You know, these are the days of our lives, but the days of our lives are really going to be drearies for the people on the outside world. You know, this is going to be literally days of our drearies. I mean, seriously. You know, if we're going to get 1 year of analog TV transmissions for these people, well, what's going to be terrible? Of course, they're going to probably have reruns of Days of Our Lives, and you know that show's always depressed me. So it's depressing. It's downright depressing and boring. I mean, you know, like Sounds Through the Hourglass. This is the days of our lives, and these will be the days of our lives, the days of our drearies, the days of how we're going to live, how many people will survive without electricity and all the other services like running water and that. So we're just going to pull it up, and yeah, plant life, animals, you know. Anyway, it's time to just hit the start button. Let's see if we've reset this copier. Now again, I'm on, I mean, we'll see what's happened. I don't think this demo is going to internet. Yes, see, look, it's on colour. We've seen this before. Okay, I'm trying to remember whether this thing was set. Yeah, it's on text, photo paper, so that's lightened it up, but we might have to. So that was probably because I had to get the screen, you know, attend the desktop, you know, because it isn't amazing how these things happen. I mean, few people get to see this stuff, and people are so physical these days, in particular technical people, and I mean, but all, you know, neurotypicals, they just see everything on a flat plane. Everything's in this world as this world, you know, everything's now, you know, there's no such thing, you know, nobody watches shows like Ripley's Believe It or Not, well, that's incredible, or anything of this type. They just think it's just normal, standard, physical, bog standard, ordinary, kind of boring. My mum and her sisters used to say, oh, that's ordinary. You know, ordinary saying it's fucked, it sucks, you know, this is a bit ordinary. Yeah, ordinary is fucked. It is. Yeah, my mother, her Catherine Kuznetsov, who was my dad's wife, ex-wife, Catherine Huddy, she had been watching these environmental issues, believe it or not, since the 1950s. Her sister Tanya Kuznetsov had a very close connection with trees, and she used to cry about the trees, and these were people very close to nature, and they were thinking about it long before it got in a full swing here. And now they're going to see what man has done to nature. Look at this. That's pretty good. Yeah, but my mother's well equipped to survive. She was brought up on a farm, so she's fine. She'll survive very well. For some reason, now, what am I doing here? I'm in mode memory. We're just going to go back to where we were. Toner, we already did that. So, okay. We've got to reprogram this. This is clearly not acceptable. It's clearly more definition to the work. It looks like we're going text. So, trying to think where the intuition's taken me. It's hard. But I might have to go and check the computer, because we've got to keep uploading and uploading I can't upload too many at once, like I can't preload because that hard drive won't handle it. It's not anything like the Windows Vista, and it's degrading very quickly. I'll just stop now. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing tonight, but I'm hoping I'm going up to Central Coast because I've got some beautiful scenes on the way. I really wish I could have had some pictures taken when I went to Brisbane and Melbourne, because the scenery was like that beautiful, and it looks like I won't be going there again. Oh, Luigi. I mean, seriously, there's some things that you can't replace, and these are irreplaceable things. But we have to accept that we can't have everything. But we're going to try and take what we can that's highlights of our lives, or the lives that we adopted, you know, that the childhood that we had that went for too long. Of course, what I meant by childhood was not our attitude inside, but how we ended up out in the suburbs for longer than we would have desired. But, you know, these things happen for a reason. But that's looking better, but it's quite a muddy green background. I don't think we're going to get an exact replica, of course. Yeah, this is a challenge. Even if we don't get a perfect copy, it's a copy. It's better than zip. It's better than zip all, okay? You know, imagine if we didn't have a copy of this at all. That would be a disaster. That would be tragedy, right? But at least if we have a copy of some script, it's better than nothing, okay? It's a record, but we're going to try and endeavour to make this a good replica. And then we store it away and we don't expose it to too much light. The light levels inside the photocopier facility will probably be low enough that the toner doesn't, but we just keep it stored away. I think we're going to be too busy looking at these all the time. This is not a drawing, this is a photocopy. This is an unusual way of documenting botany, but it's you know, it's more accurate than a human hand. Well, human hands can capture more in some respects. Clearly, photocopying this is going to have depth problems, but it's my way of doing it. It's your way. It's an unusual way. I can't draw with the nuts. Never been able to draw, not well enough for this, and this still looks a bit muddy. Okay, we're going to get at it again. Oh, auto clear. Get out of. Maybe no. I've got heaps of things uploading at once. I think we've got enough time, but we're just going to shuttle through. I don't know, this might be the only demo we do tonight because this plant is top priority. I'm just going to hit my memory and bring up our profile called toner. It's our life, isn't it? Now I'm just going to get quality density. I think we're going to stay on that. Printed photo. Some reason I feel like drawn to photo paper, but again, that's where we were, photo paper. So, let's try to slide this thing. See, I just feel as if sometimes with this intuition I get pushed around in all sorts of awkward directions, and maybe it's time just for me to take the initiative, not to, you know. So we have to darken it a bit because we had it way too light. That's my analysis here. Text enhancement, we might have to lighten it off a bit. We don't want to have, okay, I think we're smashing the black up too high, or the heaviness of this. We've got to make it very rich, but not to the point where we have too much solid. And then we've got to go here. The color balance, maybe the black. This is a hard bit. Maybe we have to push it up a bit. Well, we have, maybe because we're on photo mode, you know, photo paper. Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe I might have to upload this to YouTube. I don't know. But if I do, it's like I have to make sure my video chunks don't go for like, well, 1 minute is the best, not to go any more than 2 minutes, you know, because I can't upload anything that's, well, even if it's less than 3 minutes, it's a disaster. A stupid machine won't go up to YouTube. It's really stupid. Quality of machines these days is an absolute joke. It's not making me laugh either. It doesn't bring me joy. Oh yeah, it feels like something, you know, like some kind of pioneering spirit, you know. I mean, I always used to imagine it would be fun to play it to be working with inefficient equipment, third world equipment. It's like trying to maintain a primitive TV station. But that's all right for their equipment, because their equipment was it was newfangled stuff, and it wasn't tried and tested. But for this day and age, equipment should be that inefficient. Yeah, the kind of inefficiencies we have in Windows 8 is an absolute joke. You'd expect that probably with 1960s TV equipment, I suspect, or communications. But you wouldn't expect it with something in, people always get jaded with the idea, oh, this stuff's really newfangled, it's high-tech, it's really whiz-bang, and people get dragged up by the whiz-bang effect, like the novelty. But when you discover how bad the machines are, when you know something about them, when you've lost your existential crisis, for example, you realise they're not so whiz-bang after all. There's nothing really new. It's just all what is known as smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors, it's all just an effect, just to sell more equipment, make it look good, make it look impressive. A swipe screen for, it's really quite lame. It's lame, very lame sort of marketing. It's really pathetic, and it seems to catch people out. But for me now, Luigi, I can see through that drivel. It's a load of drivel. It's an absolute load of drivel, and it's not helping mankind. It's killing people, it's killing the planet, it's making people angry and alienated. People don't like technology. We get blamed for it, I suspect. Normal people only see what's popular opinion. They only follow, and they rule everything, and now they're sort of like the blind following the blind, and they are. They shouldn't be leading and then following at the same time. We should be leading, but we're going to be leading, but after the planet's been wrecked. Yeah. But there is consolation, Luigi. When you look at all those movies about apocalypse and about disasters, about end of the world. No, it's not the end of the world. That's a doomsday cult. We do not know when the world's ending. But those movies where nearly everything's destroyed, well, there you go. That's quite an accurate prediction. And we've got to take consolation that we couldn't change that. Yeah, so you've got to take consolation. That when if prophecy or prediction, funnily enough, is tied up in fiction, like movies and that, fantasy, even if in somewhat a coded fashion, well, you can't move it, you can't change it. You might think you can change it, it might look like it can be moved or movable, but if it really is immovable, well, it happened for a reason, but still, it's not something that you find particularly desirable. You think you can avoid it. You told me, you warned me about it, which is really funny. But we don't know, we can't know everything, we can't know everything as people, as humans. We're not the ones who made this world. So who are we to judge? Who are we to say? Who are we to say? We just have to. So we're just going to write down toner. Okay. Yeah, I might have to interrupt this copy job again and just check on my computer. So goes the scan lab. So it's quite tricky trying to get this to replicate nicely. Yeah, actually, yeah, that dark effect does look good. It looks a bit dark, but it might be what we need somewhat. Yeah, I think what we might do is maybe the background can be a little bit taken out, just to give it less heaviness, less muddiness in the blacks. Of course, we're going to have to change to. Well, we're going to take out some of that text enhancement just a little bit, knock that out a bit, because we've got a really nice effect. We don't want it too dark, so we're just going to write down here. Okay. So hopefully this will be our last one. Oh, okay. Can't spell type. Yeah, fat fingered. Not a good typist, I'm afraid. Yeah, I tried touch typing in 1992 and I really hated it and I couldn't do it. Of course. So that's that one done. I got to detect the clicking noise that I didn't have on camera. It wasn't out there, but yeah, it still looks pretty muddy, but correction, Luigi, it's not muddy, it's dark. So one thing I'm thinking of doing is, in this case, then I'll have to manipulate that instead of, well, the copy dead is at default anyway, so we're going to probably just take the red and we're going to give us some red, just to give that red a little bit more power. And we might then manipulate the brightness, which is the second exposure control, give it a little bit more of that, you know, just to give it, lighten it up. So then we go, okay, I'm just going to hit mode memory. Now, I don't think I'll be doing the whole set, I don't know, but then this profile might be pretty much what we need for the other plants I'm going to do. But this is I believe is a native of Australia, and it's very important we record that. My mother loves gardening, and my father has developed a love of it too, so that's really nice. My mother, you know, I'm hoping, you know, maybe I should get some of her stuff, I don't know, but she actually took orchids from Cairns and she managed to bring them down here. Now, not many of them remained, of course, but some of them had survived and they were somehow acclimatized to the Sydney temperatures. And yeah, so she's pretty good with that. Oh man, that's even better. That's really great. That's looking good. Yeah, and the fact that I mistyped the word toner was, to me, represents that I've got to do more work. So we're now going to go in here, and we look like we've got that nicely set up. So now we're just going to go in here, and we're going to hit the cyan up a bit more. Yeah, just going to hit it up a little bit, just to give it, take away some of that yellowing effect. I really am struggling to work it out. How I did photocopying really well on an existential crisis was amazing, because I felt like you know, but I still did it. Somehow I did it. Oh, come on, sorry. Just a program. I must have done something wrong. I might even think that I've done something, misset something, because I did that for a reason. So something else has to be done. I fudged it a bit. So maybe I'm trying to think. Maybe the yellow has to default. The cyan, maybe we have to pull it back down to 2. And maybe that's the way we go. Fill again, we're going to do that again. So yellow has to go up a bit, but not as high as it was. Struggling here. So making mistakes has now got a purpose, but it doesn't abscond me from the fact that I'll never be able to, you know, before I get brain bionics to correct the issues that you know about, I've told you about, I won't be able to do anything to do with coordination or short-term memory or working memory or anything like that. I'll have to just remain who I am and accept it, which I have. But I still find it annoying that I can't do the things that other geeks can do, but I know, but I'm still going to enjoy it, because I was made this way. I was made this way, Luigi, and I was made like this for a reason, and I look forward to getting electronics in my head to correct these problems. And I always wanted, that's the good thing about being disabled, if you can be augmented, you actually develop an advantage over the able-bodied or the naturally gifted people, you know, natural nerds. But I am a natural nerd, I just got bits missing, you know. That looks good. Okay, I'm just going to get back into my memory. I just had to get some more stuff prepared for the upload. I've got some beach stuff, you know, environmental stuff now. It's not just the copier, but the copier is very important. Never going to forget the copier. The copier is me. The copier is you. The copier is the toner heads. The copier is a new way of economics And then we've got all the other stuff that we need to support human survival and human future. So I'm just thinking whether, for some reason it seems we've got it all. I think whether we're just going to make it as is. I feel that intuition's telling me that's it. I'm just going to, I think we've already run a copy of this, but a second copy wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. But, you know, humans do make mistakes, and even trained operators as well. Trained as in, I've been playing with these machines for decades, on and off, years, and it doesn't matter how much you play with something for a long time, you're still going to get it wrong. So that's the trial one's done. Now Luigi, next stage is we're going to switch from this regular paper, and we're going to use the A3 coated gloss. So open that one up. Oh, hang on, we've got to be careful. We've got to make sure the tray's been configured properly. So that's 135 GSM, if I remember correctly. I hope I remembered correctly. So now we've got to work out special paper. Alright, this is where we get problems with configuring this sucker. Special paper, so 60 to 90 GSM is too big, too small. Oh, get out. Oh. So now we've got a problem. That means we'll have to probably go back and use bypass tray, because it seemed, I thought this thing could, maybe it means uncoated papers. Uncoated papers, I think, is what the specifications are. So we're going to kick ourselves out. We're just going to go bypass. Whew. Fancy that, Luigi. I thought, you know, I was told this thing could take, you know, just under 300 GSM, whatever it is, I don't remember. It's important. Now I can't see very well, the lighting's pretty bad, so you can see that the bypass tray here just barely. We have to pull that back. It's got a sensor for A3. We've got the guide set. Now we have to get inside, and we're just going to pull the paper out of the tray. But this is a bit ambiguous, right? Setting up a machine like this, because I've got knowledge about these machines, but I still am learning all the time, and the limitations. And now I'm trying to work out how to load a bypass. You've got to load, I think, the side to be copied, you've got to load it face down. And I get confused with that. So these short-term memory problems are a problem, but doesn't mean that normal people with their superior short-term memory are well off, because normal people don't seem to have as much cognitive power or logical or reasonings, you know. So it's funny how we just got damn hair in there. We don't see, you get bloody, and for some reason I've got a hair in this bypass tray. That's very dangerous for copier. Yeah, for some reason there's hair there. Let's go for those trays. Show you one. For some reason now I've got this. Let's just do this now. That's the problem, you know. See, I don't like the idea of getting hair in a paper path, because, you know, it's not good to have things foreign matter in a paper path. Self-guided photocopier will have to detect stuff like this somehow when it gets developed. So now we've got the bypass tray physically set up. Now we've lost this. For some reason we keep dropping this out. I haven't worked. Okay. I keep seeing. It seems that at home I seem to select the individual setting before the paper, but when I'm in the public photocopy, the C280 at Maloof's, I seem to more often get it right. So now we're going to go, and so it'll be under the fixed settings. Okay, so the people designing, or shall we say the people commissioning the design of these machines, are thick as a brick, house brick. So now that should be the right 91 to 150. That falls within that range. Auto detect, I'm just going to stick standard size A3. So, you know, it's not easy. Okay, that's the bypass tray. Also note, I'm just going to of course I'm going to hit it into here, right, because I've got a feeling we're going to have to need this for other plant settings, and we just have to tweak the machine a bit, just make little minor tweaks to this profile. So I'll just write TONER. Gotcha. I mean, yeah, thick. That's quite ambiguous. An ambiguous term for photocopying. Thick. Thick is a thick. It's not as thick as some. Here goes the bypass. Okay, you want to see a bypass feeding? If you're not familiar, come on. So there you go, just see the paper go through there. Around here, we'll just show the whole cycle. It's actually going quite fast, funnily enough. Faster than the trays of the A4, it seems. And here we go. Oh crap, it's gone black and white. We've got more slider activity. Now that's a bit odd. We seem to have... What? I'm sure we did have this in play. Now we just dumped the whole lot. Oh crap. Something went funny with this copier, and I think maybe we were meant to just have it on small paper. Well, what a doofus, Luigi, I am. But it's human nature to make mistakes. To err is human. Right, okay, so we suspect we've seen this happen before. We're now going to shut the machine down. Now the funny thing is, we've also lost all the settings, all the colour settings. I don't know if we're going to just leave it at that or what. We're just going to sub off the copier. Now I don't know what happened with the settings, but again, it went to black and white. I don't know whether it was slider activity or whether it could have been that the agent had made me fat finger a button, but I must have forgot to change it after the auto clear. So I don't think it's slider activity in this case. I think it's simply human error. Sometimes, you know, the agent that works on me does that, you know, makes me do mistakes to push me in line as well as slider activity. But I think maybe it's time to conclude the copier for now. Photocopiers are juice guzzlers after all. Actually, it's decided that we're going to start again. Now this will be probably uploaded. Most of it will be uploaded as a time lapse. It's going to be a very long demo, longer than I expected. But you know, they make very good time lapses and they go well with music. So we're just going to turn this thing back on. Now, yeah, see the timing of switching this machine on at the main power and the sub power, it's quite a nuisance. Now a normal person would really have a fritz over this. So we have to try that again. We're going to switch off the sub again, and we're going to just... Now I don't know whether we try this again. Yeah, we're going to pull the main switch again. Pull the main switch off. It's quite... I don't know whether there's a fault with this machine or whether this is just the way Konica Minolta have made it. But it's kind of odd. It's kind of confusing for the average pundit. Now, if this is a design feature or mistake, well, this is going to make normal people pretty well. They might make a call for service, and guess what? They're going to be charged, due and charge, possibly. And even you know, it's pretty silly. Yeah, and a machine that is down, well, if you look at this display, it takes its time, you know, like sands through the hourglass, you know, it's a time waster to have a machine out of action. Although I'm a nerd and I don't work, and I have a very little experience working in a busy office, I've had a little bit of experience doing similar work. Well, I understand to you normal people, time is money. There you go. So now the machine's powering up. We might as well just get going and into this stuff into here. It's going to be blurry, this phone, this iPhone. Oh, here we go. We just touch the screen and it focuses. Great. Technology of all kinds is like very, for some reason I did that. It's very hard learning curve. Right, there we go here. Okay. Well, look at the toner levels, Luigi. Now this is unbelievable. Like the economy of this toner, I just far exceeded what I expected. Now, slider activity, strange paranormal activity, taking this machine, which I'm running at about 90 to 95% toner yield estimate, probably minimum of 80. And look, these bars are still showing. Now this is the original set of cartridges I got when I got this machine. So this is like, well, it's out of character, you know. I mean, I don't use this machine heavily like you'd expect to use it, but That is pretty amazing economy here. Oh yeah, the word economy, by the way, brings back memories of childhood, because some of the old cars, I think the old Commodores, used to have a thing called economy. I don't know what that means, because I'm not an expert with cars, but I'm going watercolour for some reason. But economy was just something they had on the old cars, like Commodores. Well, I don't know the exact name of the Commodore, but Commodores were like, now going back, got to select our tray. So basically, Commodores basically, like the ones they had in the 1981, that model. So if anyone knows what Commodore it was, I know a lot of copier enthusiasts happen to like cars too. Cars and copiers and cars. Well, I did like toy cars when I was a kid. I can't drive because of my stereo blindness, short-term memory problems, and primarily working memory. So I can't multitask, and driving a car requires a bog load of multitasking capacity. Get out. You can't set it glossy with thick one. I mean, that's... Oh, maybe because... I mean, I thought glossy was to be used with glossy paper. Maybe it has to be used with normal paper. It takes up... It makes up for what you can't get with normal bond paper, for example. So you don't need glossy because the glossy paper is very slick. It has a slick surface, or... Oh, yeah, it's not totally slick, but you know what I'm getting at, Luigi. So it's designed, so maybe that's how it works. I mean, someone at Maloof's, I think, told me that you need. I mean, it didn't work that way at Maloof. I don't know. I'm confused. I mean, copiers. I mean, even for me, I just get blatant confused. I mean, all due respect. I mean, crap. I mean, these things are not designed for the office. They're not designed for people to. They're just designed to make money for Konica and the big executives, especially the ones that sit up in the big chair. They're not designed to make life easy. I mean, that's the truth of it, really. I mean, honestly, and you know, customers get sick of this. But you know, I'm just another nerd reviewing another piece of equipment. I mean, most nerds review gadgets like phones and computers, and they unbox things. But seriously, when you break it down, it might be a copier, not a computer or a desktop computer or phone, but hey, it's a gadget. It's a dirty big gadget, bigger than any damn gadget that most geeks review. And so, I mean, and it's kind of outrageous to think that these things have been cost a lot of money. This model costs like at least about 10 grand, which is the cost of a small car. I mean, a copier cost, well, if it was designed properly, yes. If it was designed to last 25 plus years, yes, maybe. But to me, it's just ludicrous. It's outrageous. But what can I do at this stage? You know, Luigi, I can't do a damn thing at the moment. Until we take out Konica Minolta, well, we just have no power. And why is it we're able to have the potential to take over an actual corporation? I mean, hello, it's never been done in history that some small sprats have been able to do this. You know, nerds and geeks used to be able to form their own corporations, like Microsoft was Bill Gates's creation, for example. Apple was Steve Jobs' creation. Did they take over an actual corporation? No, they made a corporation. But the only thing is, these corporations have been destroyed by foolish people who acquire them. It's usually the people who are smart. Correction, not smart, stupid people. Smart with deception, smart with how do we rip off the customer. We don't care if the customer dies from collateral damages and all this sort of stuff, or we don't care if the customer has their identity ripped off. We just care we make a fast dollar, and we might even just sell the company and sell it to some other doof brain. I mean, doof brain, I mean, sure, that sounds a bit stupid. I mean, nerds have some pretty stupid sounding lingo, but seriously, we are not doofs unless, of course, we flow with this. But many of us become doofs because we've been doofed out. Many of us geeks have spent years studying computer science and programming and coding. It's not their fault. Anyone would go mad if they spend years studying. They've had to endure high school, the pains and sufferings of high school. You remember, guys, what high school was like. I'm sure you normal people absolutely loathed it. You didn't enjoy high school. So how do you feel when you have a dream? I know you got your ambitions, you got your dreams, but why do you have to kill the dreams of other people just because you think they're going to kill yours. I mean, why do you feel threatened by us nerds, right? Why do we feel threatened by nerds? We got big brains, yes. If we had your nasty ethics, we could take you over. Yes, I know, but we are not like that. As a general rule, we are not perfect. But I'll tell you one thing, compared with you guys, we have ethics as a general rule, right? We have nerds that are not ethical, true. A good example would be Stephen Jobs. Unfortunately, Stephen Jobs, like the cancer he died of, he had a cancerous attitude which appeared to replicate what we have today. So I'm not absconding nerds from this, not at all. I'm trying to take a balanced view, and I want to be corrected. If any douche brain out there who's normal, I mean, sorry I'm calling you a douche, but I've really got very little respect for you guys. But the only thing I have feeling for you guys is that if you wipe out the planet, right, or what's on the outside of the planet, we nerds are tucked away in our factory facilities, well, you guys are going to have to learn how to survive, and survive fast. And you guys are there's going to be a huge death toll or sickness toll, right? That's the only mercy I feel for you guys. That's all I feel for you guys. I don't feel anything else. Apart from you dying and being hurt, I don't give a fig about you personally. That's how I feel. I mean, when it comes to you dying, and thinking about what dreams you could have and what you could really be if you just knew what you are, and just get off your high horse and stop becoming egomaniacs. Or you're frightened, I know, but you guys are ruining our planet. You don't care how much we've been banging on about the environment all these years, right? Who are you qualified to say that global warming is not real? And you're brainwashing everyone. You don't appear to admit your mistakes as a general rule, though I'm not sure, but that is not 100% true, And, you create these machines, right? If you're a photocopier mogul, right, generally speaking, like Konica Minolta, I mean, seriously, I don't understand why these machines have to have such a steep learning curve for those who are not like me, or Luigi, or nerds, right, or copier freaks. Why do they have to be this way? Here we go with bypass feeding. You see, you corporations, generally speaking, most people do not get off on photocopying at all. In fact, people just hate them. Honestly, I'm telling you the truth. They're not interested in how photocopiers work. They're not interested in the mechanics of how to configure a bypass tray. They're not interested in a fig about them. They just want simplicity. I know, because I've seen them for years, wrangling these damn machines. But, but I see a beautiful side, but I'm sorry, the positive side of photocopying is not trendy anymore. Yeah, that's not a bad profile, Luigi. Oh, damn. I hope I put that into my memory. Oh. But you see, this is quite frustrating, but, wouldn't it be good if a photocopier could sort of know when the operator will walk away? But that's a challenge. But no photocopier will ever be perfect. Now, my photocopier in the future, I aim at 98% perfection, but it's not perfect. Perfect is a word I find an absolute smell, because I know in this physical world, nothing is perfect. Perfect is a word that rolls off a normal person's tongue just like water off a duck's back. See, and I even know how to use your... No, I nearly lost my settings. I better get out of this. So basically, it rolls off like that. You say perfect, perfect. This holiday destination is perfect. This day is perfect. And it's just, for some reason, I feel like using the word perfect with this attack in my speech. Perfect. Because, maybe I've exaggerated that fast attack zoop mode of perfect. But that sounds like advertising speak. I'm very good at taking in information and sort of replicating it. Perfect. It's really perfect or perfect. But maybe it's an exaggeration. But I feel I can replicate things to a less extent. I can't, of course, I'm not saying I certainly can't replicate normal people's behaviour. I can't just walk, every time I'm with people I always have to talk about photocopiers or something relevant. I must confess, I cannot replicate human behaviour like that. I can take the lingo, and I can use metaphor, I can use slang, I can use just about any kind of dialect in the English language, and I can put a mask on. Sometimes, unfortunately, I crack up and I use expletives when I'm angry, and it's not terribly pleasant for you normal people, because I know you guys find the F word an absolute offence. For some reason, you've got this obsession with perfect language or near perfect. I understand the F word is a scary word. It's not a word that I want to use, really. But it's a word that I've developed because I've had an existential crisis, right, like most of us geeks have. And that being said, it's not an excuse. It's what we call, it's a reason. It's why it happens. It's getting to the bottom. It doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't make it right. But I've tried, being a person who's good with psychology and behaviouralism without even going to uni, well, I've tried to curb behaviours like that, because really it's quite offensive. It's quite a scary word. Like the F word is a scary word. When I was having an existential crisis, if someone said that word, it would automatically mean that person's dangerous, they could kill me. Boom, boom. So that word is a very dangerous telling word. And to me, my cohorts talk like that, but I'm not afraid of them, so that's fine. It's okay to talk with them, talk amongst them with that word, but to talk to normal people with using that foul language, I understand is bad. It's a scary word, and once I'm happy with my circumstances, once I've found my place and got out of suburbia, or even when I get together with Luigi, well, I'm hoping to put that word to bed, totally annihilate its existence from my vocabulary. I really hate swearing, but it's hard to curb certain behaviours when you've been through a lot. It's not to say I want you to feel sorry for me. I don't like sympathy anymore. I've had sympathy enough, like a lot of these people, but I'm not going to ask for sympathy. I'm just explaining to you why these people behave the way they do. It's not because they want to. In effect, they want to just do it. They are good people turned bad. But I know there's a certain number of your normal people who are good people too. In my analysis also, I believe people who are mentally retarded are even more ethical than the people who are in the high banded IQ. So the people who are geniuses, or people who are smart, like nerds and that, I reckon they're mentally retarded, or they're mentally, well, what's the point of trying to use an euphemism like mentally retarded, or should I say euphemism called mentally challenged, when you guys I don't even think you treat those guys very well. You just use a lot of language. You use a lot of words. I've used words. I'm sick of using words. I use words because I can't get into a job, or I can't do the things I like because I can't afford them. You know, you talk about something you want, you can't have. But it's not going to wash very well in the long term. You know, talk is cheap. See? All these little phrases, these catchphrases roll off my tongue. But words are only the beginning, you know, the concept. But you've got to take it behind concept. And mark my words. There's a funny catchphrase again. Mark my words, hey? Oh dear. But what's the point? I have to use these catchphrases, you know, because that's how you normal people talk. That's how you talk. So I've got to talk a bit like you. I've got to replicate something of your culture. You know, you can't slaughter your culture altogether. And then we've got black and white. More slider activity. Huge. Okay, Luigi, there we have it. See? It's gone black and white again. But look, it's on auto colour. And this is a colour subject. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to shut the system down. It seems if we have this slider activity, we have to shut it down. For some reason, it prefers it this way. Some kind of malfunction happens deep inside the circuitry. Here's a mystery. I'm sure you copy of people who are good at diagnostics would know what's going down. You know, if it was a normal fault, if it was a typical fault, you'd know the basic reason why. You know, some reason the colour unit has failed. Some reason the colour unit has shut down. You you might know that the colour units have somehow shut down, but the source of the fault is unknown. So for my case, I've had these issues happen with all sorts of machinery, or lots of different machineries, but in particular photocopiers are a target of this. So I'm just going to power up. Got to be quick. Oh, my ankle just got. basically, I've had photocopy machines hang up on me and do such strange things. Phantom paper jams, screen lockups, that sort of thing. Now, back in the old days, you know, this sort of stuff was sort of known as paranormal. But people used to see this stuff on shows back in, say, years 1982 called Ripley's Believe It or Not. You got to work out whether it's the good stuff or it's the evil stuff. It's really critical. But this is the good stuff. So just let this thing warm up. So just gonna get ourselves into the system again. But you know, the best way to prove something is right, that something is true, is basically if it reiterates, if it repeats itself. The more it repeats, the more you can say that it's true. Otherwise, if it just happens once it can be easily put down to a fault, and even I struggle to work it out. So we're just going to pull up the mode. Just going to hit toner, right? I'm just going to open this up, see what it does. Okay, now I'm forgetting to use the camera light on this phone, which really is a bit daggy, but I'll just hit the star button. Now I just forgot to hit the camera light. I shouldn't have interrupted that. The machine just made a copy. You didn't get the scans in of the lamp. I hate it when I do that. I always like to show everything. But hey, it just shows that nothing's perfect. You know, certain things I find I don't like to compromise on, and this is one of them. I like to show everything as much as I can. So that's just going through the bypass. And that's just exited. But this shows it's gone in colour, so there you go. That's the second time it's happened. Okay, this demo wouldn't be complete without showing the various outputs. So these are the A4 make readies that we have. So you can see all the black and white ones are very nice too, you know, can't fault them. And even if they turn out a bit crap, I'm sure they can have another use in an art project. Although I don't know if we have time for art when we're building a self-guided photocopier. This is not the 1990s when it seemed we had time on our hands and hope in our hearts. But we have hope in our hearts. Well, I have, and Luigi has. I mean, but I want you all to have hopes in your hearts, because this is no longer a game. This is no longer a case of nerd pitted against normal or neurotypical. This is a game of life and death for the human race. This sounds a bit weird, and it freaks me out too to think of this, but you know, this is true. We've got all the signs that are happening. But we still have to be creative, right? We still have to have time to do this as rest and recreation. When we're creating this, the self-guided photocopier, I believe, will be based on copying my human brain into the machine, or should we say the activities that go on. And I'll be playing with the copier and making creative art with the photocopier. It'll help me learn about the parameters, right? The more you play it, the more the machine that is created from the human brain has the capacity to do it accurately. So I'll have a lot of good time doing this. But it's going to be hard work, very hard work. You know, we're not going to be rich either. It's going to be like Xerox in the old days, you know. Because long before Xerox became a corporate multinational, it was based on a very poor, it was a poverty-stricken attitude. It was after another disaster called the Great Depression in World War II. It was during that time, or I think, yeah, it was after it, I think. And to create the Xerox 914 prototype was a lot of hard work. And guess what? They scrounged a lot of the spare parts, or a lot of the parts, should I say, from trash. We're going to use a lot of trash ethic. In fact, we've probably got more trash ethic than they are. So here the A3 make readies on the gloss. Now, the thing is, we're not going. The difference is the old Xerox. Trying to think, did make use of some corporate assistance, like to get the scan lamps made. Apparently, they leverage the help of General Electric, but there won't be no companies like that, and we don't really want that sort of contamination. So the good thing about having no neurotypicals on our team, which is what we would have had to deal with if we had succeeded in the 1990s, is that we don't have this corporate power struggle, and we don't have people, you know, being typically, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but the lack of ethics is going to be less of a problem here. So although the product won't be perfect, I mean, nothing's perfect in this world. I mean, when Xerox was being created, the Xerox 19 had a huge flaw, and it was the fact that the fuser assembly used to catch fire. Now, of course, they had, I mean, again, it's a tough one. That was the old days, right? We're more privileged than Chester Carlson and his team, but we're living in some pretty dark times. But so did he. But this is the last image, and this is actually a very natural looking image. Now I'm just going to show it up a bit closer. But basically, we can do it. I know we can, you know, and the media is going to be employed if that's what it takes to get you geeks inspired. Because I really love you, and the normal people are going to have to find their own way. Yes, this demo wouldn't be complete without showing the hardware. Konica Minolta BizHub C353, being leased off a very good independent called Mitronics.